Welcome to the spine-chilling world of home invasion horror stories, where nightmares come alive and safety is a distant dream. Dare to step into the darkest corners of fear for haunting tales that will leave you sleeping with one eye open. Don't forget to like our videos and subscribe if you wish to dive deeper into the realm of terror that awaits you in the sanctuary of your own home. So, me and my mom, we went to our country house for some time to relax. The house was way out in the countryside, far from any big towns or cities. It was real peaceful there, and we didn't have many neighbors. It's a good place to go to if you want to be alone and just chill. See, we didn't know we were gonna have a lot of scary trouble at that place. The first night, everything was quiet, like usual. Me and Mom, we watched TV and had some dinner. But then at night, we started hearing strange noises. It sounded like something was walking around outside the house, but whenever we checked, there was nothing there. Mom said it must be the wind or some animal, but I felt like something wasn't right. A few more nights passed, and the noises got louder. This time, though, we heard them inside the house. They sounded real close to us. We were spooked and scared, but Mom insisted that we should stay at the house. She said as long as we locked the doors and windows, we'd be safe. But one night, everything got even more terrifying. It was pitch black, and we were getting ready for bed. Suddenly, we heard a loud thump outside our room. Mom and I, we exchanged this what was that look, and then we immediately went to check the noise. To our surprise, there was a big mess in the living room. It seemed like something had entered the house. We found broken glasses and scratches on the doors. At first, we thought it was probably some crazy burglar or even a wild animal like a raccoon or something. But we never thought that it could be a scary creature that we never saw before. While investigating, we suddenly heard a loud growl behind us. I gotta tell you, it was the scariest sound I've ever heard in my life. I turned around slowly, and that's when I saw it. It wasn't a human or an animal. This creature was like something straight out of a nightmare. It was standing on two legs, and it was covered in black fur or something like that. Its eyes were glowing red, and it had these sharp claws and fangs that looked like they could tear you apart. I can't even describe how scary it was, but I want to make sure you know that this thing didn't look natural at all. We were frozen in fear while looking at the creature. None of us knew what to do. We slowly started backing up without taking our eyes off it. The thing just stood there, growling and staring at us like it was ready to pounce or something. Now, I've always been a real brave girl, right? But at that moment, I couldn't control it anymore. I screamed so loud that it echoed in the house. Mom signaled me to stop, but soon she screamed too, and that's when the creature lunged at us. We ran fast toward our room, and luckily, we slammed the door just in time before that monster could get in to hurt us. We could hear its angry growls and heavy breathing just outside the door. We knew we had to come up with a plan to get out of the house safely, or else we wouldn't make it alive. I suggested that we distract the creature somehow so that we could make a run for the front door. Mom agreed, even if it was a little risky. We decided to use her phone to make noise in the kitchen, making the creature think we were in there. Mom put her phone on the kitchen counter, and she set an alarm to make it ring. With the creature distracted, we made a run for it. As we reached the front door, the creature figured out the trick and started charging towards us again. My heart was racing, and I could only think of getting away from that monster. I clenched my mom's hand, and we sprinted out of the house. Just as we closed the door behind us, we could hear that creature slam into the door. We didn't stick around to find out if it could escape or not. We just ran as fast as we could until we reached one of the neighbors' houses. Turns out, the creature got locked inside the house. We told them the whole story, and they called the authorities. The police and even some scientists came to that house. Turns out the creature was some sort of unknown animal that had been causing trouble for the other residents in the area. They captured it and took it away. They never gave us much information about what it was, but we were just glad it was gone. I swear, Mom and I, we didn't go back to that country house for a long time. It wasn't just me being afraid. She was too. That experience taught us not to take strange goings on lightly. You never know when you'll be face to face with something that wants to hurt you. That's my scary story. I know it might sound like some made-up horror movie plot, but it really happened to us. And I hope no one else has to go through something like that, ever. So, my wife and I, we decided to buy this old lighthouse and fix it up. We thought it'd be a neat thing to do or something. We always loved the water, and we always wanted to live by the sea in May. I wasn't much for superstitions and stuff like that, I know. So anyways, we moved in and got to work. We cleaned and patched up walls. We scraped and painted all day, every day. The lighthouse started to look real nice, but things felt off somehow. We thought it was just tiredness, I guess. Well, one night after a long day of work, we were sitting down having dinner, and we heard the strangest sounds coming from the lighthouse tower. It sounded like voices, and they were getting louder. My wife, she looked at me all scared and said she could hear the water crashing like the sea was right there with us. But we were inside, so that didn't make no sense. Now, I ain't no scaredy cat or anything, so I decided to go check it out. I grabbed a flashlight and went up the tower. The higher I climbed, the louder the voices and the sounds of the waves got. It was real creepy, I tell ya. I got up to the top and shined the flashlight around, but there was nothing there. Just this damp feeling and the smell of seawater. It was like it wasn't just in my head. I know, it was in the air all around me. I went back down, but the sounds got quieter when I did. We tried real hard to forget about it and just focus on the work, but it was tough. The next night, it happened again. This time, though, I saw the figures of people outside, up on the cliffs. I couldn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it, that there were ghosts or anything like that, but they were there. The spirits of sailors who, from what I heard, died in a shipwreck nearby ages ago. My wife and I were real scared, but we didn't want to give up on our dream. We decided to do something about it and talked to the locals about what we could do. They sort of laughed, and one old guy told us we could try putting up some kind of charm or protection. We didn't really believe it'd work, but we tried. We put up the charm, and the very next night, no sounds or ghosts or anything. It was weird, like it was working or something, but, a part of me still didn't believe it. Then one night, when I was up alone in the tower, the charm fell down. It just slipped right off the hook, like someone wanted it to. That's when the voices started again, but this time they were angry. The waves crashed louder. The spirits were right in front of me, reaching out like they were gonna drag me into the sea with them. I was more scared than I ever been, but I remembered that old guy saying something about confronting the spirits. I didn't know how, but I tried. I yelled at him. I told him they had no right to be here. I told them that we weren't gonna leave. We were gonna stay, and this was our home, and if they didn't like it, tough. That kind of thing, Then it stopped. Just like that, the voices, the waves, and the spirits were gone. The dampness in the air was gone. It was like they finally got the message and left us alone. My wife and I put the charm back up, just in case, and we never had any problems again. We finished fixing up the lighthouse, and it's a beautiful home now for us. We know some people won't believe us, but that's fine. We lived through it, and it's real enough for us. I guess, sometimes, standing up to your fears works. This used to be a frightened home full of angry ghosts, but now it's our dream come true. But between you and me, I still listen real close sometimes at night, wondering if those voices will come back, just in case, I know. One day, out to the blue, me and my family got this letter. Turns out we inherited a castle in Transylvania, Romania, from some distant relative. We didn't even know this relative, but no one can pass up a castle, right? So we packed up and moved out there. When we first got to the castle, it was huge and old and creepy. We heard a bunch of scary stories from the village nearby about the place being haunted, but we didn't really pay them no mind. We figured they were just trying to scare us, So we unpacked our things and started to settle into castle life. For a while, everything was pretty normal. We fixed up different parts of the castle and made them our own. The creepy factor was there, but nothing supernatural seemed to be going on. That didn't last long, though. It started pretty simple. We'd hear strange creaks and groans coming from the castle at night, but that was something we could brush off. I mean, it was an old place. Old places make weird noises, right? Soon, though, it got a whole lot weirder. We were hearing footsteps like someone was walking around when we were all in bed. Doors started to open and shut on their own. The temperature would drop out of nowhere, and it got so cold we could see our breath in the air. But still, we thought maybe it was just the drafty old place playing tricks on us. But then one night, my little sister wakes up screaming, saying she saw someone in her room, standing by her bed watching her sleep. My dad went to check it out, but there was nobody there. That was when we finally had to admit that maybe, just maybe, the villagers had been right about the place being haunted. From that point on, the weird happenings only got worse. We couldn't sleep through the night without being disturbed by bangs, screams, and ghostly voices. We wouldn't just hear footsteps anymore. We'd see actual figures, blurry and nearly transparent, walking through the castle halls. Things were being moved, and we'd find them in places they had no right to be. It was like spirits were taking over our home, and that scared the life out of us. We didn't know what to do. We asked the villagers for advice, and they told us what they knew about the castle's tragic history. Turns out hundreds of years ago, the lord of the castle had lost his mind. He went on a rampage, murdering his entire family one by one. Something about an old family curse or something. Their spirits were trapped, doomed to wander the castle for eternity, unable to move on. We couldn't just abandon the castle, but we couldn't live like that either. So we chained ourselves to the task of freeing the trapped spirits. We spent weeks trying to figure out how to help them, researching and speaking to anyone who might know something. We tried rituals, prayers, and anything else we could think of. Nothing seemed to work. One day, as we were going through the castle, looking for every last piece of history we might have missed, we stumbled upon a hidden passage that led down into the depths of the castle. We hesitated, but eventually decided to venture down, hoping to find the answers we so desperately sought. The passage was dark and damp, and when we reached the end, we found a hidden room filled with old scrolls and books. We grabbed all of them, hoping this was the key to freeing the spirits and getting our home back. We started reading through everything we found, learning about our family's dark past and just how far back this curse had stretched. It was a long, slow process, and there were times when we felt like giving up. We were still victims of frightening home invasions and ghostly encounters, even more so than before. It was like the spirits were fighting back, trying to stop us from uncovering the truth. But something inside me and the rest of the family kept us pushing forward. We were determined to not only solve the mystery, but also bring peace to the restless souls trapped in our new home. Finally, we found what we were looking for. Hidden within one of the scrolls was information about a ritual that could break the curse and free the spirits. We didn't know if it would work, but we had to try. As a family, we carried out the ancient ritual. The ritual was unlike anything we'd ever done before, but we knew it might be our only chance at peace. We all gathered in the hidden room, lighting candles and incense, and reciting the words written in the scroll. The air around us seemed to shift and change, like we were disturbing something that had been dormant for centuries. We felt a sudden rush of wind, and the candles flickered wildly as we finished the ritual. In the days and weeks that followed, things began to change. The castle started to feel more like a home and less like a haunt. The footsteps and whispers faded away, and the icy chill in the air disappeared. We knew we had done it. We'd managed to free the trapped spirits, lift the curse that bound them to the castle, and end the frightening home invasions that had plagued us for so long. Now, all these years later, our family still calls that old Transylvanian castle home. The terrifying experiences are nothing more than distant memories, and we've built a happy life for ourselves within those ancient walls. Our home may never be like anyone else's, being haunted and all, but the spirits that once terrorized us have left us be, and for that, we're grateful. As for the rest of the world, they might not believe our story, thinking, It's just some ghost tale made up around a campfire. But we know it's real because we lived it. And there ain't nothing more terrifying than that. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this story. We're continuously experimenting with this format, and we greatly value your feedback. Please show your support and share your thoughts by liking, subscribing, and commenting on our content. In the comments, let us know what aspects of the story you enjoyed and any parts that may not have resonated as well. Also, we'd love to hear your suggestions for our next frightening tale. Feel free to vote for your favorite ideas proposed in the comments section. We create chilling stories based on your requests, so your input is crucial.